Whoever Nintendo hired for their marketing team are geniuses. Naming the next Zelda game Tears of the Kingdom? It's like they knew exactly what was going to happen on launch day.
If it's not fun, why bother?
The title of the game alone is a meme. You can't convince me there's no way that marketing team didn't do this intentionally. So yeah, shout out to Nintendo. You guys made my job real easy, which is a rare occurrence for you because usually you make everybody's lives twice as hard. But in this case, you made my thumbnail easy and you made my video title easy. Zelda, Tears of the PlayStation Fanboy. And what's the best part about popular and highly rated games that don't belong to PlayStation? Is that ponies have mixed emotions and don't know how to feel about it.
Don't make a scene. Just say something witty and exit on the laugh. So jealous!
On one hand, all the attention is being taken away from Sony, and it guarantees no PlayStation title will take Game of the Year home. But at the same time, they also use it to console war. That's right, PlayStation fanboys need a Nintendo game to fight their console war for them. That's right, the same motherfuckers who started off the year with a game that reached 680p 18 FPS want to bitch and complain about Zelda's performance, and also somehow use it as an argument against Xbox guys?
So you can't use subjective, you can't use like subjective things to indict a game.
You wanna see me do it again?
I get eye strain. It's then therefore bad.
Don't tell me what to do.
Just look at that massive 180. Talk about a complete lack of self-awareness. So when people don't want to play Starfield because it could potentially be hitting 30 FPS, that subjective opinion, super valid. Zelda running at 30 FPS, sometimes 20. Now you can't be subjective on that one. You can't just dismiss this game because it's 30 FPS, it's Zelda! Sorry, but what bothers your eyes is not valid. Only what bothers my eyes is.
If someone says, hey, well then, why does that make it such a problem for Redfall to be at 30? Why was everybody concerned about Starfield being at 30? Okay.
Uh-oh. Looks like ReforgeGaming.exe has stopped working. Let me open up the troubleshooter. This usually happens when he realizes his point is stupid and he has no argument. Fucking quit! Oh, come on! Console war already!
What this thing needs is what we call a Brogan adjustment.
What's that? You know how?
Yep.
Hold on to your hats. Different
expectations.
Different
Contexts.
You can't sell a piece of hardware on world's most powerful console, 60 FPS standard, and then give us below that.
Does that make sense?
It's called the double standard.
You know, on second thought, I like it much better when his brain freezes up. Because when he puts it to work, he says some of the dumbest shit. That was a pussy way of saying he has double standards, let's face it. You see, nobody was expecting Zelda to run at 60 FPS, 4K, duh. But because of those reasons, we're not expecting it to be $70 either. There's absolutely zero justification for that. And yet Reforge is scrambling every brain cell he has left together to try and find one. When there is none, it's just a double standard. You are selectively choosing to ignore the 30 FPS and the price tag. And if you need the context, I'll give it to you. The Switch is 6 years old, was outdated, and incapable of having good performance from day one. And now they want to charge you $10 more? How that doesn't have you enraged like you were towards Starfield is showing your clear double standards. One can do it and the other can't, when in reality both shouldn't be doing it. 30 FPS is 30 FPS, and we shouldn't treat both companies any different for putting a $70 price tag on something like that. It's like the only person on the internet who's consistent at being against 30 FPS is me. Nah, Frit, nah, you got it wrong. You got it wrong. This guy's not defending 30 FPS.
A quick way to find people who lack intellectual depth. They think Zelda Tears of the Kingdom at 30 FPS is the same as next-gen games running at 30 FPS. A false equivalency is an informal fallacy and a surefire way to see that someone doesn't know what they're talking about.
Games that have performance issues don't get a 96 meta. Sorry.
What performance issues?
Game drops to 20 FPS throughout the game in certain areas. Also, the resolution drops a lot as well.
This gets into review philosophy. Are minor frame drops a strong enough reason to lower a score? I I would say no. Look at Elden Ring as an example. Performance issues should drop a score if they are game-breaking or endemic. I'm not seeing that in Tears of the Kingdom.
20 FPS is minor? Take care, man.
If the target is 30, then a drop to 20 is minor, yes! Many 60 FPS games target 60 and drop to 40 to 50. Keep this energy when that happens.
Alex, we're gonna have to sit down and have a long talk about you capping for this guy, alright?
He does exactly what I do, but better.
The Alex I knew back then would have featured this man in his videos, no problem. Listen to this retard. A drop to 20 FPS from 30 is a third of the frame rate. Dear God, dropping a third of your frame rate each and every time you want to use one of the built-in tools of the game to move objects around is not minor. It's a major inconvenience that's being overlooked. And let's face it, it's because it's not Xbox, that's why. This guy has a major hate boner for Xbox. So much so that he's willing to just lie to himself that dropping from 30 FPS to 20 FPS is minor. The lengths this man is willing to go just to validate his anti-Xbox narrative is insane. People are calling you out, rightfully so, on your double standards, and your immediate response is to tell them that 20 FPS is a minor hiccup. Okay, if this man's credibility wasn't just destroyed for you ponies, then I don't know what else will destroy it. Not even those Twitch allegations could stop him.
Seeing Xbox cap for a 20 FPS Nintendo game all because it's a Game of the Year contender is crazy. Seeing a third Game of the Year contender, Redfall, just got dinged for being 30 FPS. They really are down bad.
Now, I don't know what he's talking about because every single Xbox fanboy I've seen on my timeline was crying about the performance. The only people I saw defending this performance was Reforged Gaming, and he's supposed to be like the Frederick Nietzsche of PlayStation.
Everybody when it comes to Nintendo. Where's Steve Ivor at when you need them? Clown-ass review scores.
Wow, you know what, J-Dub? I actually kind of agree with you. I do think it's bullshit that performance is overlooked for Nintendo products. Maybe I was wrong about you. See, that's why you can't judge a book by its cover.
Hashtag PS5 share, hashtag for spoken. Oh shit! This game is epic! Hashtag PS5 share, hashtag for spoken. 9 out of 10 review score from me. Once you get your powers, the game opened up big time!
Yeah, you stupid Xbox! You out here capping for Zelda at its 30 FPS? All of you turning a blind eye? Absolutely no shame. So anyways, about Forspoken, it's a 9 out of 10. Yeah, it goes below 720p. Yeah, at times it hits 18 FPS. Yeah, it's supposed to be a next-gen game marked at $70, but you can't overlook Zelda. Christ almighty, at the very least, the Xbox guys are apparently capping for a good game. Meanwhile, you're sitting there, capping for what's quite possibly the second worst game of the year, and thinking absolutely nothing of it because it's a PlayStation title. He's willing to beat and play Forspoken with unplayable frame rates, but wants the dog on Tears of the Kingdom? J-Dub's the type of dude that says, nah, I don't do drugs, I stay away from meth, I stay away from weed, I stay away from alcohol. But paint chips? I love me some paint chips, and the chemicals under my kitchen sink are pretty good too. Well, either way, clearly the praise for Tears of the Kingdom has gotten to J-Dub severely, and many other PlayStation fanboys, because as we speak, it has been review bombed on Metacritic. Is it any coincidence that the tweet with 1,000+ likes complaining about the review score results in, you know, a review bomb? I'm just saying. But then again, I don't really care because when things get review bombed, I do love me witnessing the chaos. I don't really have a problem against review bombing, it's funny. But these ponies will lose their goddamn minds if a PlayStation game gets review bombed. But let's not pretend like Xbox fanboys themselves weren't salty too, because they most certainly were.
720p 30 FPS Game of the Year contender from the industry in 2023. I'm good on Xbox.
Say that again, what? You're good on Xbox? What just came out about a week and a half ago? Redfall, right? What was that game running at again? 30 FPS? With traversal stutters happening every 3 seconds? Again, what is it with console fanboys always overlooking technical problems when it comes to a game on a platform they worship? But suddenly, when they see the exact same technical issues on another game, they're the first in line to try to ridicule it. Both ponies and Xbox got some of the worst performing, worst looking games to launch in 2023, and they're acting like it isn't so. They're salty because they know there's nothing Xbox or PlayStation can put out that's going to be the contender for Game of the Year. Should there even be voting allowed for this one? I mean, there's no point. Spider-Man and Starfield are not going to outdo Zelda. Well, then again, the PlayStation fanboys seem to believe Final Fantasy 16 is the game, because upon the first hour of the critic reviews coming out, PlayStation fanboys opened up a Twitter space for nearly half a day to cry about it, claiming that Final Fantasy 16 is infinitely better than Tears of the Kingdom, even though that game isn't even out. And you know what? Oh, actually, never mind. Hold on. I got some fresh cut sandia. I'm hungry. 1 second. Yeah. That's good shit. Like I was saying, game's not even f***ing out yet, and they're already capping for it more than Tears of the Kingdom. You're really gonna put all your faith into Square Enix after all the previous Final Fantasy games? Alright, go ahead. I'm gonna put all my faith into the sandia.
Nobody, and I mean nobody else, could get away with this but Nintendo.
You wanna know a funny fact about Solid Rev? The guy's into feet. Yeah, he's a foot guy. It's not about the ass or titties, he likes the toes. So, you know, just letting you know.
That's nasty.
Anyways, I don't know why they all repeat the same mantra. You really think nobody else but Nintendo gets away with reusing assets? Well, I can name you quite a few people that do get away with it. Sega with Yakuza games? Hello? Same map for nearly 20 years? Spider-Man? Goddamn Spider-Man reusing its entire map and assets? Nobody's crying? God of War ring a bell? Reusing the same assets too? From Software games having the same animation, same sound effects for over a decade? I'm not trying to defend Nintendo here, but it's unbelievable how stupid of a statement that is. 4,000 likes. Yeah. Fucking nuts. We really gotta stop pretending like the industry doesn't get away with basically everything.
Nostalgia inflated by the score for a mid-franchise for children running on 15-year-old hardware.
Oh, you know what's funny about this guy too? He doesn't find it nostalgia bias when Naughty Dog relaunches the entire Uncharted series again, or launches The Last of Us again at full price on the PS5. He fucking loves it. Nothing nostalgic about that. When the game scored good, re-released yet again, not a single issue. But goddamn Zelda releasing an actual sequel and it reviews well. Now we got a problem on our hands. Anybody else here notice how good game releases are more controversial than bad game releases? Well, that's all thanks to console tribalism. You have the fanboys to thank for that autism. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is a great way to introduce yourself to the series, but might not be for those who didn't love Breath of the Wild. Read our review here. A 6 out of 10. Really? This reminded me of that one time Jim Sterling gave Breath of the Wild a 7 out of 10, just to stick out. Now it's their own opinion. That's fine. If you want to give the game a 6 out of 10, and you feel your score is very valid, I'm not taking that away from you. However, I am going to question your metrics, because this is the same score you gave Forspoken. This exact website thinks Forspoken and Tears of the Kingdom are comparable in terms of quality. And on top of that, they consider the Horizon series to be superior, classifying it as a masterpiece. Gee, you know, I wonder what kind of mentality you have to have in order to reach this conclusion, you know? It was no surprise that everybody defending this review site on the Twitter thread was a bunch of PlayStation fanboys.
Y'all DLC accusers out there that be calling everything else DLC real quiet right now. Y'all afraid of the Zelda mob? Speak up! Fight back!
Ponies cry.
Only Nintendo and Sony PlayStation would get away with this. Gaming media and gaming communities would tear Xbox a new hole if they released a Halo that reused lots of the old map. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and God of War Ragnarok.
What the hell is this Xbox talking about? Halo has literally recycled maps before. As a matter of fact, the Halo community begs for recycled maps. Every iteration of Halo We want to play all the classic maps. We want all the classic guns. We want all the classic vehicles. Halo thrives off of recycled content that's been built up over the years. You goddamn retard. Mantra like this only gets thousands of likes because people are salty that this game scored higher than anything Xbox and PlayStation put out. I mean, I would be too, because the game runs like trash, but that should say more about Sony and Xbox than it does about Nintendo. Reusing assets is only a cardinal sin if it's done on the competitor's console. Jesus Christ, stop being such a bundle of sticks over it. As a matter of fact, the complete opposite happens. People actually gave Xbox shit for not having all of the content from the previous games. These goddamn Xbots and their revisionism. Again, ponies and Xbots are simply envious they don't have what Nintendo provides their customers.
Brand new God of War release, and suddenly puzzle moments run at 20 FPS. We won't hear the end of it. Same if this happens with an Xbox game, like let's say Starfield. How come Nintendo get away with this and almost no one caring?
You know, the funniest part here is that all of these tweets just disprove what they're saying. Clearly, all of them care. They wouldn't be getting thousands of likes and recycling the exact same talking points. The idea you came up with in your head is not special or unique. Everybody is parroting what you're saying. Plus, let's not kid ourselves. We can't really consider what God of War has in its games as puzzles. If the frame rate dropped during those moments, it wouldn't be any harder. What, with all the characters revealing to you how to solve them in less than 30 seconds? You know, it's amazing they're giving Nintendo all this shit for that, but the Medium and The Plague's Tale all launched at 30 FPS on next-gen consoles. And you know what the excuse was for that? Well, those games are pushing the consoles to their limit, so 30 FPS is understandable. Have you ever thought that maybe Tears of the Kingdom is pushing the Switch to its limits? I mean, to be fair, the first Breath of the Wild game was already pushing it. Again, if people were more like me and just trashed 30 FPS at every chance you got, you wouldn't have to have such conflicting viewpoints. Hell, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X have already shown their limitations. And with rumors of a PS5 Pro model on the horizon, they flail their arms all excited. Yet demand Nintendo make a next-gen console. Unbelievable. Again, like I said, good games are more controversial than bad games. Whenever something good comes out, people absolutely want to trash it because their console tribalism gets the better of them. Each and every one of these people would absolutely love it if Zelda was exclusive to their platform, and they would be lying if they told you otherwise. It's about scoring points online and not playing video games. Hell, I'm not even interested in playing Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't even beat Breath of the Wild. I could actually be playing it the way it's meant to be played on PC right now as we speak, but I've been having way more fun with the Outer Wilds and the meltdowns I've been seeing on social media. Just like with Elden Ring, people simply cannot stand it when another game hogs the spotlight and everybody quickly forgets about your favorite game. Not a single person can have a good take. Amazing. We really don't deserve good products in the gaming community because there's always someone who's going to be overly defensive for the game or overly critical of it. There is no in between when it comes to good games. None of you deserve something like Zelda after you all capped for Forspoken and Redfall. Not a single one of you. Sit down. And also, stop using this game to console war against each other. It makes no goddamn sense. Anyways, I'm all out of sandia, so I don't really want to continue the video. So consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing if you so choose to. With that being said, I have a feeling we're gonna have a lot of salt on our hands for the next coming few months. Sit tight, and I'll edit as much as possible. Bye-bye.
I've been a PlayStation dick sucker since the PlayStation 1 days.
He said it! He said it!